Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in this video we got that headlamp going on. So today we are not working. Let me turn off this light. We are not working on the Datsun. We are actually working on So we're working on this work truck today, and I will be showing you how to replace brake master cylinder and the power brake booster here. We've been having brake problems with the work truck for a little while now. Have to pump the brakes to get some stopping power. I did notice that there was a minor leak coming from in between the cylinder and the booster, so which is why I'm replacing the cylinder, the master cylinder. I mean, they're both bad, and I've been lagging it, to be honest, but now it just came time. It was time. So I have to get it done either way. And there are two kinds of boosters. One is a vacuum booster, as you can see the vacuum line right there with the little valve here. And then there's another one that's called Hydro Boost, I believe. That one apparently has some lines running down to the power steering, but luckily we have this basic one that has vacuum. So, lucky us. So we're gonna start from the inside. Reason being, there is 4 nuts. You can see there. There's pretty much 4 nuts either, or in total. On both, there's 2 nuts here and 1 on top. Then one over here, then 1 on top over there. That's what holds the brake booster on. So let's go ahead and take those off. It is pretty tight in here, so good luck. It is giving me trouble since there's no space in there. Luckily, I managed to take out 2 with this wrench right here. I love these things. It's a size 15, so I took off the one from the upper left corner and the lower right corner. Now, I'm trying to take off the one on the upper right corner, but there's literally no space. I can put the wrench or a ratchet, but there's no space to move. So I don't have a battery powered one, but I do have this air ratchet that I'm hoping that'll fit, but we'll make it fit one way or another. So note to self, buy a battery powered ratchet. Also, forgot to mention, disconnect your battery, because your battery will die if you don't, because it's going to take a little bit right here inside, especially once you take off the disconnect the brake pedal. It's gonna fall under the switch. You don't want that. You don't want your battery dead. So just disconnect your battery. Plus safety, yeah. After both of my compressors taking a shit when I actually need them, finally I got a third one out. Now it's just this the lower left one left, which is this one's gonna take care of it just fine. But before I take that last one out, I'm actually gonna take the pin from the rod. The brake booster has a rod that connects, see that where that sponge is right here? Where is it? Right there, that white sponge. We need to take the pin that's on the end over here right next to the sponge, so we can slide out the rod for the brake booster. All right, so finally we got the little sponge out. Right next to the sponge was this little clip that pretty much just slides in and out of the rod of the pedal. As you can see, it's pretty much ready to go, come out. Let's see, there you go. That's where it was, right there. So that it's now exposed. All it is just that rod that needs to come out that way, and that'll be it pretty much. So now all we got to do is take this nut out, but before we do that, let's go loosen up the engine base side. Remove the fluid from here. From that, it's pretty simple. It's just a turkey baster and a bottle, whatever bottle you have on hand. Pretty janky, pretty super dirty, as you can see. So after that, we're gonna loosen up the lines here. We're gonna use a 14mm wrench, so we can loosen it up. Now that we loosened up the lines here with the wrench, we're gonna go ahead and undo these 2 nuts over here. Now that we pretty much loosened up the nuts over here, the new master cylinder did come with the plugs. So right now we're gonna remove these lines right here so we can use these plugs. So now it's simply taking off this nut, and there we go. So out the old, and now as you can see, the brake booster serial was still on there. Now it's just a matter of disconnecting this vacuum line here and the last bolt or the nut from inside, and it should just simply come out now that we loosened up the rod from the pedal. So finally, it's out. Thank God. Jesus. So you can see it's pretty rusty down here, which means something was leaking, because brake fluid is very corrosive. Gotta weed through paint and stuff. So this was a pain, this damn nut right here. There's no space for it. You need that air ratchet or battery powered ratchet, because there's no space. And this is the rod right here. So now that that's out, it's actually core, so we do have to return this. But let's go check out the new ones. All right, so this is the new one right here, direct replacement. We do have to transfer that little valve over to this side over here, but it's looking pretty good. This is the part number right here, 5471046 vacuum booster, and this is the new master cylinder. This is it right here. And I did buy this little kit right here so we can go ahead and bench bleed this master cylinder, because I really don't want to struggle once it comes to bleeding this new one right now. Actually, let's go ahead and install this one first, so that way we just have this one to go. But this isn't much, so it's going to be the hardest part over here, putting this back on. So let's go ahead and start with this new brake booster. First things first, I removed the valve from over here, the old one. This one you just gotta really literally just push it in. It's a barb type fitting. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and install it. That's the hose gonna go into. Alright, so we're back inside. First thing we're gonna do is one of these nuts on this lower corner right there for the stud, at least, so you can hold it in place. All right, now that we have that nut in place, just for it not to fall out on us, we're gonna go ahead and install that clip. We'll install the rod to the pedal. Very hard to see. That's the rod coming from the brake booster, and the rod, that little tip right there, that's for the pedal. Yes, it is. So we're gonna go ahead and slide that in. Put the little sponge here. Put this little sponge next to it. Then this little clip, as you can see, it is one of those slider ones. Slides through this wider gap, and it just slides in, and that locks in place. We got it back together again. As you can see right there, got the clip, got the sponge, got the rod. So now it's time to button these nuts back on. Well, we got them all. We got them all. Thank God. Now we got to do now for the booster, just connect this hose, and it's good to go. So now we have a brand new freaking booster, and that's how you install a booster. Now it's time to install this new brake master cylinder. I ordered this one off of Amazon. It was pretty cheap, which is why I pretty much ordered it. Got the new master cylinder here in the vise with the bench bleeding kit. We're gonna go ahead and grab the 9/16s over here on this side, throw this in, and this one is 1/2 inch. Then it comes with 2 clear hoses. You're gonna put these in, another clear hose. Now it does come with these clips. I'm not really sure what to call them. That way you don't have to keep holding the lines, so I should be good. Now it's already set up. We're gonna go ahead and pour some brake fluid onto both sides, maybe about halfway. So for us to bench bleed, we're pretty much gonna take anything you have, really. I have a 1/2 inch extension here. We're gonna go to this side, because this is where it sits on the brake booster here. All you gotta do is just press it in. Hopefully your vise doesn't move. Press in, like so. Fluid is gonna come out through here and go back in. And what you want, just like you're bleeding your brakes, you want no air coming out of the line. You want a solid stream. Just keep pressing in and out, in and out. Obviously you want to do this pretty slowly. You don't want to go ape shit here. You can see there's still some air bubbling. Just keep back and forth a few times until you're pretty much satisfied. And I won't be satisfied until there is no more air coming out. So just keep doing this. And I'm pretty happy with it. Do it one more time so you guys can see. You guys probably won't see, but there's no air coming out of the lines here. There's no air pockets, air bubbles running through, which means this master cylinder is bled out. So there's no more air inside of here. Now we're gonna go ahead and replace those lines with these caps here that came with it. Now it's just time to clean it up. Clean up a little mess right there, and we're good to go. Slide that in. We slide the ABS and brake lines in over here in the back somehow. There you go. One. And we will now present the nuts right here. We have to connect the lines. So once again, we got to move a little quickly here with this, because it will spill out, and I don't want the master cylinder to be empty. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it together. YOLO it. One's out. One's out. And just slide it in. This is not connected. And this one is now connected here. Now it's just a matter of tightening down the lines here. You don't have to keep them super tight, but just make sure they're not loose and leaking. So the last thing you want is come back and do the job a second time. Tighten down the nozzle here. There you have it. New brake master cylinder, no leaks, brand new power brake booster here. Ain't going nowhere. This thing's connected, everything's bolted down, everything's tightened. So we're good to go. Now you can go ahead and actually fill the reservoir here up with fluid. All right guys, so it's the next day. We're gonna go ahead and show you guys how to bleed the brakes. Of course, first thing we're gonna do is make sure you have fluid in here. This has to have fluid at all times. Don't want this to be empty whatsoever, so you have to keep an eye on it. These are the things you'll need. The right size wrench for the bleeders, whatever bottle you may have, and some clear tubing, and obviously brake fluid. We're gonna do it in this sequence: rear right, rear left, front right, and lastly front left. From the farthest of the master cylinder to the closest, so this is the farthest, second farthest, third farthest, nearest. And as you can see, that's the bleeder valve right there. Just take your wrench, and this is a 10mm. There you go, perfect. For that, take your clear tubing and you pretty much just put it over the bleeder. The clear tubing is on the actual nipple. The wrench is in place. I mean, you don't have to put the wrench like this, but you can if you want to. Whatever, doesn't really matter. All that's left to do is for someone to go inside the cabin, have them pump the brakes 3 to 5 times. I usually just go for 5. Once they're on their last, or actually let me show you. Okay, so I'm basically the second person now. Once the second person is in the cabin, like I am right now, you're gonna have them pump the brake pedal 3 to 5 times consecutively. Have them pump it 5 times. So 1, all the way down, they come up, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now once you pump it for the last time, make sure they hold that foot all the way down. Super important. Once they have it held down, you know, they're gonna yell at you, you know, it was the last pump. Now while they're holding it down, while the person is the second person in the cabin is holding down the brake pedal, you're now gonna go ahead and crack this valve open. Don't take it completely off. You don't want to do that in order for the fluid to come out from clear tubing here, and you will see that there will be air bubbles coming out of it along with the fluid. Once the fluid finishes coming out from the bleeder here, now you're gonna close it once more, close it again. Then, and only then, can the person inside the cabin release their foot off the brake pedal. After a few times of doing that, make sure the second person inside the cabin checks on the master cylinder, because the brake fluid will, you know, obviously go down because it's coming out from the line, the bleeder valve over here, or the bleeder screw, I should say. But just make sure they're keeping an eye on the master cylinder where you're down here. That way, you know, if it's pretty low, just make sure to top it off, and just do that process as many times as you want for it to not have any air bubbles inside the brake system. Once you finish with this wheel, you're gonna go ahead and do it for the other wheel as well, and that's pretty much it. There's not much to it, to be honest. With that being said, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe for future content. Follow us on IG, Los Moros Vera. See you guys next time. Peace.